Knock, knock, knock.
Ooh,
It's diabetes.
Pete's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No. Say it.
Don't scare the audience like that, Pete.
Casey's here with booze.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Lance Jennings is here and there. PJ.
You know, it's a
Happy
PJ.
Wednesday.
people say things like that, and I think
Saboteur?
about stepping out of the gentleman.
Saboteur, what's going on? So how have you guys been?
There.
Doesn't Saboteur just like reminds me of like an 80s or 90s superhero show, like Thundar and Saboteur. I am Saboteur. I just can see it, you know.
Would it be all right if during this show tonight I had a cold one?
Yes.
Ooh, it's an IPA. You need to have some of that ready for Christine when we come up.
Graphic, how you doing? Kurt.
She is an IPA freak.
A little afraid it's frozen.
What was that on the?
That's what
like
she said.
A beer with Walt Disney artwork on it.
What the hell? Why not?
Oh, he's got the Expos mug.
I mean, that's their whole thing now, I guess, with Disney. They're like, they were just talking about, I saw an interview recently where one of the guys, the higher up, whatever the hell their names are anymore.
Gucci.
Now, is that in honor of Tom Brady retiring for the 9th time today?
Second time, buddy.
No, because there was a trivia thing on sports media that said like he was was it in 95, like the final draft pick of the Montreal Expos?
Yeah.
Now more than Favre.
He was the last remaining professional sport player ever associated with the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, 17th.
Who said that on Twitter today? I can't remember if it was Saboteur or if it was PJ. That now, because I said, now the Expos are officially gone, except for Yuppie.
Yeah,
he's the last remnants of the Expos.
Yes, but Yuppie needs to be put out of his misery now that he's where he is.
You can't get rid of Yuppie. He's a classic.
Must be.
Yeah, but has it ever happened before where another franchise, I
don't think so.
Steals the mascot from another team?
Well, there's really an argument there to say that Yuppie was much more popular than the Expos was in general anyway. So we might as well go with the Canadians because they loved him there. And Yuppie was a fantastic mascot.
Yuppie
is. He just roots for the wrong team now.
Gotcha.
So, would you just call it a misguided mascot?
Well, mascots got to eat.
Retirement. Money,
the
retirement.
Mascots go to the wayside.
Does he still have an exclamation point on his back, Pete?
I'm not sure on that, to tell you the truth. And I've seen him in both. I saw my pictures taken with him in bunch at the Expos game, and recently I saw him at the Canadians game. So, graphic Gary Carter was my favorite as well. I got a picture of him right over there from over there on my wall from when I think I was about 12 or 13. I sent him a letter and he sent me an autographed postcard and stuff.
Nice.
Gary Carter was always my favorite player for the Expos back then. The Expos and Red Sox were my favorite baseball teams.
I'm just a little sad that you couldn't just reach over and grab that picture.
I can, but I got to take it's this one is actually a reproduction one, and it's in the wall in a frame, and I'd have to bring up the whole frame, which I'll do now.
Disappointment time is over.
Oh, so he's still disappointed, like he was going to do another Matrix swing back lean. Okay, here he goes. Gary Carter.
I'm just sad that there's nothing on the back of his chair. You're just letting me down here, Pete.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Is that Linda Carter?
So I'm sorry, I'm going to do this if you don't mind. Since you made me get it off the wall, I'm going to do this. There.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I just did it. You did. I put it back. There we go. All right. So I got to fix my screen now.
There's Gary Carter, Wade Boggs.
Yeah, we got.
Is that
Up here, these are all these are actually prints of genuine autographs that I have in my books over there. But we got Don Rickles and Kenny Baker, which I actually sent to England for.
Nice.
And Linda Carter, Kozlowski, Gary Carter. This one here is Terry Garr, actually.
Oh,
MASH episode.
I want that episode was on. Or I watched that episode tonight. With a sniper. Then you got Carol Spinney here. Right in the middle is Bob Newhart. That's the cast of The Big Bang Theory. Whoop, this way, Al Malda. That's
Professor
one of my
Proton.
favorites.
Nice.
I got Vern Troyer, who I saw not too long before he passed away. Wade Boggs. That's James Earl Jones there. That one. And we got Kozlowski again. We have the Trailer Park Boys and PJ Souls.
Oh, PJ Souls.
Yeah. So that's neat. I had that old frame kicking around. I thought, hey, why don't I do that? So what I did is I took scans of some of my autographs and I just made that poster to hang up on the wall. It's kind of a neat thing.
Very cool.
Very creative.
It's nice.
Yeah. And the Gary Carter one is, like I say, that one I got when I was 12. I remember I was in hockey school in July. And when I come home from hockey school, that had arrived in the mail while I was in hockey school. So it was really neat to come home to.
Wow.
Peter, best of luck. God bless always, Gary Carter.
Wow.
Sorry,
Sorry, I'm looking at the other Carter. I can't.
What's that?
I'm looking at the other Carter.
Linda. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Linda Carter.
Oh, there's
PJ
nothing.
Souls.
There is nothing wrong with Linda
Pete,
Carter.
where would you rank Andre Dawson as your favorite Expo player?
High.
He was.
How would
great.
you rate Richard Dawson as you're never been an Expo player?
He
Richard
was.
Dawson was awesome.
Hey, he's awesome as a game show host
Man,
and a guest. Those match games.
Andre Dawson
Tim
was
Raines.
just played, and he never caused any issues, never caused any trouble. He just played better than most everybody else in the league. But even when he went to Chicago and stuff, you just couldn't say anything. He was non-controversial, was not a showboat. And that's frankly, if you have a player who's quality like that and is not a showboat, that means the world to me.
The guy could hit for average and power, and he was fast. I mean, by the time he got to the Cubs, his knees were shot. But man, in his heyday,
in his younger days, incredible center fielder too, right?
Unbelievable.
So I don't think I ever want to hear anybody say this about me. Is Terry Garr still with us?
Yes,
I think so. I think she has some health issues.
Yeah, didn't she have some kind of I don't know, disease? I don't know if I want to say that, or I thought she had some kind of condition.
Should look it up. Maybe somebody look it up. It's MS or Parkinson's, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Along that line.
Sean Lawrence.
There's some great clips of her on David Letterman show on YouTube. Hilarious.
I'm still
She's
a
78
huge Mr. Mom fan.
Hey,
she's hilarious. Yeah, Mr. Mom. She was on that too, wasn't she? That's great. Yeah. I was thinking Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, she was great on those early Letterman shows.
Huh?
Did you ever watch her on Letterman, like his early stuff? She was on all the time.
Yeah.
I don't remember it too much, really. I don't remember her being on there.
She was really good on those.
Remember Letterman? The early Letterman shows come on at 1:30 in the morning, my time, right?
Oh, really? Oh, you mean they did?
In fact, the Letterman show debuted on this day in '82.
Sorry, Lance?
Letterman show debuted on this day in 1982.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's trippy weird that we just started talking about it, and that's that. Terry Garr and Star Trek.
Would you like a hot towel? I don't know if anyone's going to know that, but Larry Bud Melman was the best.
Oh, loved Mr. Mom. Saw that in the theater with my parents when it came out. Yeah. There's nothing like thinking about some of those. What's a movie you remember seeing like in a high school time?
Porky's.
I knew you were going to say that. I saw Meatballs. I remember seeing Jackie Chan in what at the time was called The Big Brawl, but now they call it Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Pee Wee Herman. I may have been in college at that time.
Yeah. So I think when we were in high school, you would have been in college. When you were in high school, we were in elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah, you babies.
Poke, 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 poke.
Who's the babies? Or the babies? I said the babies. Didn't Schwarzer have a movie around 86 or so, like as a Commando or
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
Is that what it was called?
Commando,
Alyssa
Radon Chong.
Milano.
Where everybody had
Yep.
completely crap aim. Nobody could hit anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad movie.
No, it wasn't.
Commando
It's
was
just-
decent. I
It was
went on
fun.
a kick. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Larry
PJ.
Bud and Elma came to our door my freshman year, toast on a stick. Oh my god! Oh, PJ, where did you? What part of the country were you in at that time? I'm guessing you must have been up in New York somewhere, right?
I missed a lot of the comments in the
Terry
chat.
Garr was on a Batman episode.
Yeah, which
Really? How old
All
was
right,
she?
we gotta check this out. That's too
yeah,
awesome.
because
That's so much awesomeness right there.
so now wait a minute.
Wouldn't she have been like
So-
a kid at that point?
So before Ballistic says anything, who is your guess for what the villain was in the episode she was in? So you had like
I'm going King
Egghead.
Tut.
Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Pharaoh.
I would say the one Vincent Price played.
Yeah, Egghead.
Oh, he said
Was
it's
that Egghead?
episode 7, but she was uncredited. Was she?
Oh, cool.
Was she?
She
a
was
kid
on-
at that
She was an
age?
episode of the Bob Newhart show,
Really? Wow.
Star Trek original series.
I'm going to say a Penguin show.
They all kick around and try to break it into the business, get these little bit parts till they get their break. So
Yeah, those are some of those best. That's why I enjoyed watching the Courtship of Eddie's Father and watching a very young Jodie Foster as a neighbor. And the dad is a character actor that we've seen too.
Greatest movie of all time, Enter the Ninja. No debate.
I sees to me, I watched that and thought it was freaking awesome. But it's been so long. There's a few of those ninja movies from back in the 80s watching, and it's like, oh my god, it's a good movie. Like American Ninja.
What about Best of the Best?
Hey, Luke.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, was that Rob Van Dam?
No,
No.
that was Roberts. Julia's brother. What's his name?
Eric Roberts.
Eric
Yeah,
Roberts.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just there's so many back there. There was a couple there, and it might have been the one that might have been Enter the Ninja, but this weird. I don't remember. Can't differentiate them in my mind right now with the titles and stuff. But there's one in particular that I watched that was just fantastic.
Wow.
Might have been it.
Yeah, Best of the Best was I don't know. They made like 3 or 4 of those, but I only saw the first one.
That's like I love. You're talking about Arnold. I got into an Arnold kick now a little bit later than that, but after he had a few of them out where I was buying VHS, the VHS all cost about $20. Used to be in the late 80s or mid 80s, a VHS movie to go buy it was $60-$70 or more, right? Because all they did was deal with really dealerships.
I guess.
Rental? Do you remember that?
Wow.
When they first come out, you couldn't buy them for under like $70 or $80.
Wow.
But you rent them, you rent them. And then they started going down in price. So by the late 80s, early 90s, they were like $20, $18.99 and stuff. So I started buying all the Schwarzenegger movies or whatever at that time.
Yes. Yeah.
I still have them all downstairs. I think you and I went through that box of them last year, Stu.
Wow.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Chuck Norris movies were awesome too back then.
Back then they were.
Yeah.
Like Octagon, Silent Rage, Only Good Guys Wear Black.
Yeah.
Was the first one.
Silent Rage is the one that it's on Tubi, and I've had it favorited to watch, and I've not watched again because I have such loved it. But I bet you haven't seen it since like 87. And it's like when I watch it, am I going to be disappointed? Because I don't know if I really want to.
I know. I just got a copy of Good Guys Wear Black, and I was gonna wait until my the son of my neighbors was gonna come over and watch it with me. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this. So I'll watch it again though with you. But the Octagon was there's that whole in his head conversation, and he's like whispering. And it's just like, okay, stop. Just stop. It's like watching a Zack Snyder movie where you're like, could you speed things up so we could be done by now? The two fastest beings in DC, and I'm watching them go. I'm like, what is that?
That's not Coco, is it, Pete?
A Coco. Coco's on the ceiling.
We
Not
have
Coco.
a Quill in the basket tonight.
Quill.
Yeah.
This is very rare.
Yeah.
Quill.
The rare cat sighting.
Oh,
Quill.
Well, I'm sleeping here. Leave me alone.
God, what do you want? What do you want, you old ass gamer?
so not only did I watch a movie this weekend, it was a superhero movie, which I do not watch usually.
So where is Coco?
Which movie?
Black Adam.
Oh. Did you like it okay?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
For a superhero movie, I thought it was pretty good. That isn't not my favorite genre, to say the least. And to be honest, I've never even heard of the character until the movie came out.
I am gonna keep my yap shut. All I've got to say, Jeff, as I just told Lance this earlier, I said, I don't know who's ever taken me up on anybody over in the chat. Let me know if anybody's taken me up on watching Pitch Meeting. Has anybody watched Pitch Meeting yet?
Mm-mm.
Please do so.
I watched which one? I did watch one.
So Jeff, watch the one on Black Adam.
I did not watch the Black Adam. What was the one you recommended we watch?
Wakanda Forever, maybe?
No, it wasn't a Marvel one. I can't remember which one you watched.
Polar Express.
No.
No.
I've never even seen that movie.
I just watched the one last night about the live action Mulan. That was hilarious. That was great. They're just so quick, and it once you're done watching it, you're like, oh yeah, it's pretty stupid. You're like, and some of these are movies I like. It's truly interesting when you think about them and how it doesn't make sense. Or like The Incredibles starts with a possible suicide. Wait, this is a kid's movie? You're like, oh my God.
Now, Salvatore's got an interesting idea for a bracket show: 80s movies.
Yeah, that would be great. But what do? Do you just do 80s blockbusters?
Just 80s movies, any movie in the 80s.
Any movies? Doesn't matter. Action, comedy, doesn't matter.
How many weeks do we have to do that one? Are we looking for a weekend show?
That could be interesting, though.
All week.
Well, you only have 32 slots to fill.
Oh, okay. Which is almost twice as many as Steel Panther. 17 girls in a row.
Let's narrow it down more.
These are here. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
I like them wide open like that.
Yeah, you like. Yeah, don't narrow it down. Just
personally, I don't like narrowing it down too much.
I understand that.
I mean, it's already 80s movies, so that's narrowed down.
Yeah. Enter the Ninja. What year was that? Enter the Ninja.
Casey Neidall's here.
Yeah. Casey was here like early.
Oh yeah, he left the very first comment. Booze.
Yeah.
Booze.
Poor sleepy kitty.
Halloween 3.
Yeah, some days I am, but it's just funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. Promote Pitch Meeting? No, I am not. No, Ryan's not sending me spit. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Steel Panther. I've got a buddy of mine who's a big fan of theirs. And I checked it out and I couldn't do it. I was like, I don't get it. I get the music is fantastic, but the lyrics, I just can't take it. And then I went to Europe to follow these guys right here. Wayward Sons, who were on tour with Steel Panther throughout Europe and into the UK. And after going to the show, I was totally in, because it's a whole other thing. It's the party you don't get, and you don't understand it until you're in it. And then you're like, like Letterkenny or something like that. I mean, Pete's Canadian, so he's really going to get it. You know, some other people just don't get it until they're maybe deep into the show and they get it. Now that's Archer was like that for me. I started watching Archer. I'm like, these people are assholes. And I watched a few episodes and I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay. I get it. It's just the way they are. That's what this is about. Everybody's a dick. It's just funny.
I didn't know there were so many Amityville horror sequels. I only saw the first movie. That was it.
Well, they had 2 books, so they had 2 movies, and then they had a reboot. At least 2 reboots, I think, right?
Reboot?
A reboot. Boot and reboot. We've had big discussions about this movie, Obsidian.
Halloween 3.
Yeah. Luke
Don't
says
remember it.
Yeah,
Halloween 3 is great.
Oh, we've talked about that a lot.
Because you do have to view it as its own thing.
Yeah.
It's like Ready Player One or Kick-Ass. You just have to watch the movies and then read the book and let it stand alone by itself. So, what was this one? Also enjoyed it, but yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Once you realize you are in the joke, yeah, Steel Panther is hilarious. And once you see, okay, I'm going to be a bad boy. I understand this. I am only being Bart Simpson in the back seat after church saying hell. When you see them play Asian hooker, and there's always, every show, there was an Asian woman who would hop up on stage and dance around with them. The whole, it's like, it's like comedian. It's like watching a comedian where you're like, did you really just freaking say that? And they're like, yeah, it's just a joke. You're like, okay.
A Amityville Horror TV movie starring Patty Duke? Well, that sounds wonderful.
Wait, what?
Wow.
I guess that's still what he's talking about.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. And then what about this one? Amityville Vibrator is in the Dollar Tree for $1.25. JW, I go Sugar Bear. Look at that.
Yes. Sugar Bear.
I made sure to buy the Amityville Vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
So would that take D cells or AAA?
9-volt.
Yeah.
Built
Or
in
is it rechargeable on your computer with a
Other
USB?
than a smoke detector, have you ever used a 9-volt in the last 30 years?
Yes. Guitars use them. There you go.
Yeah. I was at a portable
I used to use
electronics.
them all the time in like the 70s and 80s, but since
Yeah.
then, man, I don't really use it from anything.
Yeah. And there's still, like, if you have an old pedal for your guitars, some of those take them.
Anything new though?
Anything new? Well, yeah, like I say, guitars, like my why can't I say it?
Yeah, just smoke detectors.
My acoustic electric uses it.
Patty Duke's Amityville was called The Evil Escapes in 89.
89.
Also had Jane Wyatt. Wait, was she Father Knows Best, the wife? Is that Jane Wyatt?
No. Tonight's soundtrack brought to you by Mattel Football.
Beeps and Boops was still entertaining.
Beeps. I thought you said boobs. Sorry, I'm a boy.
Yeah,
What is
she's
this?
that was Jane Wyatt. Father Knows Best.
Hi, Papa Pete, and everyone else he mentioned that I'm too lazy to name. Just Copy and paste, Eep. That's all
That's
you gotta
right.
do. Copy and paste. It's in a Dollar Tree. There were limited copies.
Yeah, it's a knockoff vibrator. It's not the official one.
Not endorsed by Patty Duke.
Yeah, lots of people were Puppet Master fans. I got a buddy of mine, Dave Dyer, and he's a big Puppet Master fan. He's a big B movie fan. He didn't they put out like they put out a new collection. I say they put out a new collection. I mean, that's been, I don't know, 10 years ago now, maybe. And they put out a whole collection of that stuff.
JWT, you ever catch someone asleep and touch a 9-volt?
No. How many people sleep with their tongue out?
I saw like parts of that, and I thought he goes, "Did you ever stick one to your tongue?" But no, he's talking about doing it to someone else.
And all they hear, they wake up screaming and go, it's good.
Pete, I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you.
What'd be even better is if you're holding your guitar right there and you go, thanks. You put it in there.
I know what I'm doing next time I visit St. Louis. I'm waiting for you guys to fall asleep.
Yeah, during Rise of Skywalker.
Bring in a 9-volt.
Oh,
A lot of medical stuff uses 9 volts. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wake up, Stu. You haven't thrown up
There you
yet.
go. There should be like a shooting star, the more you know, after CC Metal's comment.
That's right. And then
and knowing is half the battle.
That's right. Followed by that. That's a GIF. I just used that GIF the other day with a friend of mine who got a hold of me. See, there you go. You guys just came up with my arcade strip clubs beeps and booms.
Yeah.
I'd be losing every game if that was the case. I'd be like, what? Where
There
was
you go. Casey's postal scale uses a 9-volt.
Oh, there you go.
I swallowed a key as a 5-year-old, then licked a light socket. Mom and Dad took me to the hospital, and they called CYFD on them.
Oh my god!
Wait, you swallowed a key, and then you licked a light socket. I'm trying to see
Uncle Fester.
I'm trying to figure out the correlation there. I thought you were going to say you tried to stick your tongue in a keyhole.
Ballistic's trying to get me to buy that Fester game. That's what he's doing.
Oh, Fester's Quest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pete, you got that ready?
Look who's
There's
here.
Coco.
Oh,
Wait, is Quill still in the basket?
Yeah, Quill's still in the basket.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Well,
Oh, for a second, I thought you were just going to dump it out. Goodbye, Quill.
Coco has seniority.
she has. That's exactly what I was going to say. She's got about 10 years seniority on him. So
This reminds me, I was listening to some Megadeth and Metallica earlier. Their live album was called Rude Awakening. Megadeth.
Got to keep Coco's streak going.
So
Ow, you bit me.
were you guys ever into Hellraiser?
Never seen it.
It was what's his head's first movie. Wes Craven, yeah.
Wes Craven? I thought
Yeah.
that was Last House on the Left.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was he did that. Didn't he do that movie though? Didn't he do Hellraiser?
That came to mind, but I didn't. I wouldn't.
But you're right. You're right. That was.
It would have been a shot. I wouldn't hit the button in Jeopardy, but if I had to guess, I would have got it.
3 guys who haven't been in my kitchen.
And they're sad about that.
Somebody I've never interviewed on the Papa Pete channel.
There you go.
Yeah.
11
still
Hellraisers. I've never even seen one.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, I'm far behind.
You know, earlier you guys had talked about somebody mentioned reboot. Did you see
Thank you.
the one I sent you? The latest reboot. You're gonna do Matlock, but with Kathy Bates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Clive Barker did Hellraiser. Thank you, Eve.
Hi, Barker. There you go.
See,
every
and you
time I
can
see-
tell that I'm not into Hellraiser, really.
So I think I texted you guys. It's like every time I see Kathy Bates, I think of her with that sledgehammer and Misery, and poor James Caan. His feet.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That'll scar
Hobbling
you,
is-
man.
Oh my god.
That's a videotape that I got from probably Columbia House or something way back in the day. That I'm still waiting for the
Columbia
right
House.
moment to open it up and watch it.
Are you shitting me? You have not opened it up?
Not yet. I just haven't had a chance to watch it.
Holy crap.
Pete's gonna do a whole series of Columbia House movies that he's never opened.
Nice.
I have old Columbia House
You want a week,
ads.
Pete?
I have some old Columbia House ads that I'm waiting to.
BCB's favorite horror series is Halloween, but not after the 6th or 7th movie. All
Oh my
downhill.
god. Watch the pitch meeting on Halloween ends. Yeah. How are those? Are they okay?
No, you opened it. When did that happen?
Oh, they were open. He took a picture the other day. I could tell it was open. When he did the beer switch out. He did the sour beer switch out, and that was I could tell it was open.
Pete, what's the difference between those and real Canadian all dressed chips?
These are a little bit more stronger vinegar flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. I like them okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I haven't had them in a long time. Coco needs that thing that Grogu had.
Columbia House. I owe the money. Yes, I'm sure I do too.
Yeah. Was that what happened to Columbia House?
That's what happened.
Because I remember
Half the country
Columbia,
owes them money.
yeah, Columbia House, and then I think it was BMG. There was another one.
If only.
Uh-oh.
What is happening?
Chip fight, chip fight, chip fight. Bitch, give me that
The way
chip.
that Paul that was Mike Tyson's punch out.
She's like, is this American?
The grave chips on.
Are these U.S. all
Put it
dressed
out.
chips? I can tell.
Mm.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I never could get into the Child's Play stuff.
There.
Anybody watch the Chucky TV show that's currently on?
No.
Was it even on? Like Netflix or something?
Peacock, maybe? 'Cause I keep seeing ads for it. It must be Peacock. I got 30 CDs and 20 VHS from Columbia House.
Never paid a cent.
What's funny is we destroyed this company and nobody cares. We're all
Nobody
happy about it.
We shoplifted the crap out of them. And they sent it. That's like going to the store and going, can I rip this off? Sure, take this and this and
Who
how
was
about
the-
4 of these?
Who was the genius behind Columbia House that came up with that deal?
I don't know. BMG as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I did BMG like a madman. I had multiple.
Those are Schnucks chips.
Those do make you thirsty, though. Holy cow.
Hey, is that my beer?
You just
Pete, you had
Yeah,
that look on
here
your
we
face
go.
like
Those are
I did on
Schnucks
that outro for you when I was eating those
Schnucks does
chips.
some good chips. Kathy Bates and Bad Santa too.
Stories too.
Man. Favorite 80s horror is Killer Party. Has a soundtrack from White Sister. Really? From White Sister? Really? Wow.
Oh, that's where I see it. USA. I see him during the WWE wrestling matches. That's where I see the Chucky commercials.
Now I gotta see if I have a White Sister album.
well, is WWE really for sale? Is it really going to go to the Saudis like those rumors?
I don't know about the Saudis, but they said they're selling. Apparently, that's why McMahon came back.
Oh, schnuck.
That's an interesting point. JWD is boycotting their Schoolhouse Rock special. That's tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be filled with people who weren't even born in that era.
No, I don't. I must have
I like how-
downloaded some of their stuff.
I like how with the Coffee Boy, not only did he rip Columbia House off, but then he stole his college dorm mates. Columbia.
What?
Oh, it's like he was a different person back then. Okay.
Oh, my college dorm mates. Oh my god. Oh, shit.
Well, you read
We
that,
have
it's like,
this
well,
guy
that
on
was the
our show.
90s. It was a different time.
It's like secondhand ripping off right there.
It's not what you've done, it's what you're gonna do about it.
Friend didn't pay for him, and he still took him.
And it's still 10-1. His friend got a hold of him and said they never showed up.
Oh, Schoolhouse Rock's so good.
Classic.
You know,
I was about to say the only way to get them are on the DVD because I don't even like the fact they're all on Disney Plus now. But I just picked this up and this is Disney.
yeah.
It was ABC. There was ABC, right? So ABC, Disney had already had it. So this DVD, which I've had for a long time,
Same here.
was Disney even then. So I guess I can't really get away from Disney, can we?
No, because they've owned ABC for so long.
Yeah. 30th anniversary edition. So that would have been around 2002 to 2003, wasn't it?
This is the 50th, right? That show tonight.
That's right.
50th
50th.
anniversary.
So, yeah.
Because back at that same time frame, well, a little earlier than that, they had that album come out where it was a bunch of alternative bands covering a bunch of those songs. So
It wasn't even the songs, it was the people that sang them.
what do you mean?
You know,
yeah.
you can say, I'm
To
sorry,
go
but
with
if
the
you get friggin' Led Zeppelin singing Conjunction Junction, I'm not going to enjoy it as much as the original friggin' one that I heard
Hey,
on
man.
TV when I was a kid.
Hey, man, watch it.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Time for timer.
They should have thrown on Time for Timer on those DVDs.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I was watching Rocky and Bullwinkle the other day.
Oh, another
That's pretty
classic.
cool.
Those are classic. I mean, how political. Those are awesome. Those are great. Speaking of VHS, I inherited these from my cousin.
Oh, neat.
And there's one for JD. And this one, which is one of the worst covers of all time. I don't even get it. I just never understood that. And there you go.
Like what the stoner kid would have on his notebook
Old
cover
school.
in high school.
Old school
Yeah.
shells there.
Yes.
I love those clamshell Warner Brother ones.
Yeah, with the indented logo.
You like the little sound it makes when you open it up?
That's what I was gonna say, Jeff.
That's sweet.
I'm
I
gonna-
can remember having like Twilight Zone and a few. Yeah. Back
He
in the
was
rental
paid
days.
for all of his Columbia House purchases. I've never heard of such a thing.
What is it?
He paid for all of his Columbia House purchases.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I guess we were that gullible, I guess. I don't know. Or
Schoolhouse
Nice.
woke.
oh yeah. Well, the toughest part is when you're working at a school and you're going through all of that, all of the grammar rock stuff, right? That's what you're studying. And the students are like, and you're like, what? Just put on Schoolhouse Rock. It's right there. It tells you everything you need to know. And it's very much like Albania. Oh my God.
Borders on the Adriatic.
It does. Chief Export. as
Land
well.
is mostly mountainous.
It's mostly mountain.
Did I ever
That
say
was the one part I was forgetting.
GoGameGo viewers prefer Rise of Stu Walker. So I had a friend tell me, I think I told this one before, but I had a friend say he was in the hospital once, and the nurse had an accent. So he asked her where she was from. She goes, well, you've probably never heard of it, but it's Albania. And what did he say, of course? Oh, it borders on the Adriatic.
Adriatic.
And it's mostly mountainous. And she was all excited.
Their chief export is chrome. Did you know that? Oh, that's hilarious.
That'd be the ultimate. Have someone meet someone from Albania, and you can just pop that out.
Especially if you break out in song. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man.
She'll think you're a
Yes.
musical genius.
Yes, the Ghostbusters
Wait,
water
didn't they
ride
turn
was
that into
great.
something else?
Yeah, it used to be the one where it's the Tunnel of Time, but then the Tunnel of Time was like the ending of it was like decades ago, and you're like, okay, can we update this? And then that's where they scooped it out and they put in the Scooby-Doo thing, and then it became I think it's something DC now. It's
They had a portrait of Eep at the Columbia House main office when you
Well,
walked
he
in.
kept him in business for a couple of months. So thank you.
It said "our customer" underneath it.
And then they have like a post office wall with all you other people that didn't pay.
There's
Here's
not
their
enough
picture.
walls to cover all those names.
You could just see the blurry black and white photos. Somebody taking the postage and they're looking to the side.
He had to
Nice,
post
Eep.
for hours for that portrait. It must have been a painting.
Remember the one with the guy on Seinfeld where he's from the library? Where he's hunting down the book?
Mr. Bookman?
Yeah, Mr. Book. So your name's Bookman? Hey. I was, he kept
Is
doing
Mr. Freeze still here in St. Louis? I can't remember.
that.
I haven't been there in a while.
I don't know, but I did go to Six Flags Over Texas though many years ago. My mom could not go up that stairway to get to the big slide. That was driving her nuts. She had fear of heights badly.
The Kramer.
Like Kramer.
Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
Two tails.
Tails.
Haven't seen you in a while in here.
Hey, I did watch a pretty cool movie I finished it last night, called Harlock. It's based on an anime, The Space Pirate. It was pretty good. It's on Amazon if you want to check something out. It's a computer, generated stuff like the Final Fantasy movies. So, it's bath time, Coco says. Then she realized she was on camera. Oh, wait, what?
Just getting ready for her close up.
What's she biting on? Is there a thorn in her paw, Pete?
No, they do their nails like that.
I think she's going at her Dukla.
Baron von Kripp show. I've never heard of that.
Baron von Kripp show in the 80s? No. But that's Sugar Bear. That's awesome.
That is
That is
awesome.
awesome.
I can't wait to see what's going to show up next week.
Or was Eve's picture like George Costanza's photo in his boxers? Remember that was on all fours.
Oh shoot. So okay, I'm gonna try this again. Take two. What are our choices or thoughts or decisions on upcoming brackets?
45 minutes into a 90-minute show, and we're just starting.
Topics? Who needs topics?
Who needs topics?
I don't know.
Well, I like the 80s movie idea, but I
80s
still
movie's
think
cool.
we should be something a little bit more than, because that's everything from Star Trek 2 to friggin' Porky's Revenge.
Well, I had two thoughts
Wouldn't that make a great finals, though, Pete?
It would be interesting.
Two completely different movies battling it out.
That's right.
What's
What were
your
you
thought,
gonna say,
Lance?
I had two topics. One was cop or detective shows. Your
anybody writing
Magnum
these
PI versus like Miami Vice type genre shows. The other was cartoons. I don't think we ever did a cartoon.
We never did.
Now,
We talked about it.
How would you do it? Cartoon shows or cartoon characters?
Shows.
Yeah, like, now, do you want to do classic cartoons from an era, or like everything from friggin' Futurama through? Well, Futurama's old now, but
I think
Bunny through like Phineas and Ferb and that big of a.
I think for
BoJack
now,
Horseman right back to Betty Boop.
Well,
I think
Jeff was saying, we got 32 slots.
I think for now we just kind of do what Jeff is mentioning and just give it a shot as to just and then see how that comes out. And then if some things didn't make it, but we just go for the big scattergun first, and then if it doesn't come out in a way that we're like, oh, well, okay, well, this time let's focus on something. But I think the big picture is a lot of fun.
I get this narrowed down, but the thought of two completely different movies out of nowhere,
right?
It's just so funny to me.
Yeah, Porky's versus Empire Strikes Back.
But if we did narrow it down, how would you narrow it down?
It'd be Caddyshack versus Die Hard.
Well,
Comedies, sci-fi.
See, and that's why I don't want to do it because the 80s was like the 70s where it's so you had interests in all different places, right?
Yeah.
Science fiction, action, family style films, so you'd end up seeing lots of different stuff. Hey, Stashnet. So so that's why I think it's kind of cool to do it that way.
Mix it up, or
80s
comedies or 80s action.
Yeah,
just kind of
what do you think about the 80s movies? Should we just do it 80s? Is that the limit, or do you want to narrow it down?
No, just 80s movies.
Because there's 23 in chat.
Yeah, because if you sit there and try to narrow down 80s movies of a certain genre or whatever, but you saw a lot of movies in the 80s.
It doesn't matter.
You could actually do it though.
Well, you could.
You do that, Megaforce is going to win. So what's the point?
What was that? Was that 1980, Pete? Or 81?
Yeah, it was around 83.
It was 1982.
I think.
Hold on.
Let's go look.
God.
Uh-oh.
I don't have to look. I was just going to get the record. I know it was 82.
Y'all need to lose the restrictions. Let her fly.
See, there you go.
Oh, I should look. I can't see it.
Pete,
I'm an old man.
Have you watched it yet?
I have.
You haven't lived until you've seen Megaforce and Blu-ray.
Hey,
Those
hey,
tight
Pete,
pants really come alive.
the way you're holding that magnifying glass will actually hurt your eyes. I used to work at a rare coin shop, and you used to put the glass to your glasses, and then just move the item.
Oh, really?
And that's less strain on your eyes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because in the coin shop you would look for like double mint, double stamps and we call it double strikes and corrections in the die and different varieties. So put that magnifier to your glass and then just move the item.
Well, I thank you for that, because you know what else? That's a lot easier to see too. Because you put it up here, and all of a sudden you can see the whole thing when you get to the right distance.
Yes. The other way, you're straining your eye to look through the magnifier and then try and read the item.
We've learned a lot tonight on this show. That's another one of those the more you know moments.
The more you know.
You can always just get a magnifying sheet.
Papa Pete should glue that magnifying glass.
Or if you saw that scene in Top Secret where the guy had the Peter Cushing character had the magnifier to his eye, he pulls the glass and his eye was super big like a softball.
Avatar, you changed your avatar here.
Yeah, to KC. Look at that. So if you haven't checked out Pitch Meeting yet, do that, and then check out this album.
You know what year it is?
So good. One of these.
Me neither, because everything in the back's in Japanese.
One of the. We'll need that interpreted by next week, Pete.
It's funny when that happens. I grew up watching. You remember Bugsy Malone, the Scott Baio gangster movie? Well, I got a copy of it, but it was Korean. But it plays in English, but all the packaging's in Korean.
Did someone mention Till Tuesday earlier?
Till Tuesday.
Born Distracted just said, I wish I would have listened to
They were in the Top Gun soundtrack, weren't they?
Yeah.
Voice is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, was it mentioned earlier tonight?
No,
Or
Till
just a
Tuesday.
random
Berlin
thought?
was Till Tuesday on there too?
Hey, Born.
Voices carry.
They did Voices Carry, which
that.
Yeah.
Voices Carry.
That's the only song I can even think of.
Amy Mann, thank you. Yeah, she had a solo career too, I think. And then she, am I remembering right? She wasn't doing well. I know Alana Miles wasn't doing well. And she may have passed.
Pete, did you hear that Hulk Hogan is like hobbling around? He's got to move around with a cane these days.
I did. I read that just today.
terrible.
Actually, not doing well at all, and massive nerve damage in his back. And
You know what that they said that's from mainly? It was his finishing move,
The big leg drop. Yeah.
because
Really?
he hit right on his spine every single time, and enough of those, I guess, it just started compressing. And
Wow.
Who is
thought
this?
such a simple maneuver would mess you
Yeah.
up?
Yep.
Who was that?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
He's really having some physical problems now.
I mean, that's the thing, man. You gotta. I just don't. That just sucks when that happens.
I find now, Stash, that yeah, I hate it, but I gotta get stuff out all the time. Reading some of the printing on some of the stuff they have now is so small, and come to find out, like I said, if you look at this, it's all in Japanese. Like it wasn't that I couldn't see it. It was like,
Well, like at the grocery store, the expiration dates are so small.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to read some of those.
Oh,
things.
she did the soundtrack for Magnolia. Amy Mann did. What's Stashnet saying up there?
That's interesting. I take a picture of the small writing with my
Yep.
phone and then blow it up.
Yep, that's
yeah,
what I
that
do.
works well too. Yeah,
That works.
There were directions on food. Yeah, okay, sorry, I missed that.
sometimes you even
earlier.
do that. Just don't even have to take the picture. You just put it on there and zoom. And
Yep.
bang! All of a sudden you read it in your phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Saboteur. Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3 was awesome.
Thunder lips.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
Yeah.
I remember it's so weird.
A lot of
Walking
people body
down
slammed
to-
Andre the Giant.
Just
Even
getting a VCR
even
back in
before
the
Hogan.
day and walking
Harley
down
race.
the snowstorm to the bus stop to rent movies because they had about 15 movies you could rent. It was the only place within 100 miles you could rent movies.
Oh my gosh.
And we rented Rocky 3. First time we saw it.
My favorite Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, by far. Yeah.
I mean, Rocky 1 is
first one's
really
awfully good.
Rocky 1 is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess technically it's probably better than 3, but
Yeah.
every time if I want to watch a Rocky movie, I put on Rocky 3 because that's the one I want to watch. It's
the
most
excitement of
fun.
it. The action. Yeah.
And it was kind of different because there was several fights in that movie. It was, the wrestling one, and then what? Two with
Clubber.
Clubber,
And then what? Technically, one with Creed. We never found out who won.
Oh,
Yeah.
at the very end. Yes.
The very end.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
That's awesome.
I love half price books. Ballistic said he used to work at Half Price Books in Dallas 23 years ago.
Discovered who? AB Man?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's
He
one thing you'll see around
rediscovered
here is
her.
bookstores. A lot of them are gone. You have to
Yeah,
go.
we have a half price. We have a couple of half price books
I
here.
just heard a
in St.
story
Louis.
about Barnes and Noble that they're making a comeback with brick and
Nice.
mortar stores.
Wow.
They are following a strategy that a company, I think in England, used for a bookstore, and the person who did that was hired by Barnes and Noble, and they're actually opening new stores,
Nice.
which is unbelievable. But it was pretty fascinating read that it kind of
wonder-
goes to my theory about I think malls could make a comeback one day, but it's got to be very specific. I mean, it's
I'm
got to be
sorry.
social, some kind of social
Yeah,
component.
yeah, that's a good point, I suppose. But I never understood. When I was a kid, I understood malls because you just go there and, like you said, the whole family can go there. You can all find something. They had arcades.
Had everything.
You even have those people who are there in their workout suits walking in the mall.
I did. I did
you know,
see another story about malls where they're talking about a certain mall that was making a comeback, and what they were doing, it was instead of big name stores, it was like mom and pop stuff, but filling up a mall.
There you go.
Which is very unique because now you've got an area you can go to that you can't, go to on the internet.
Yep.
That's pretty interesting in itself. Yeah. Whatever happened to this Toys R Us comeback? Remember after they went away, like the next year, they were going to come back with a few stores at Christmas time, but at least they didn't do it here. At least I don't know what happened to it.
Failure.
Never left here.
I can't
still
say
in
there's any
Canada,
around
Pete?
here.
Yeah, they're all still open. Now, what I have noticed the last 6 months, their video game sections and such are gone. They don't have any games
Wow.
whatsoever anymore.
Huh.
It's all toys.
Interesting.
Yeah. But they were a terrible, terrible video game seller anyway. It's like, I can remember, like, as a collector, whatever, you would know that. Like, pretend this is like a PS4 case, right? And you'd go and you'd pick the paper out of the thing, and you go and they go out and they get it for you, and they bring it in, and they would have cut the plastic.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
it in and put it back. It's like, well, it's cut.
It's kind of like GameStop. That's what they've always done. They sell you a new game.
Like you're buying a used game.
No, they open up the new ones.
But I'm not talking about they would just open it. They would open it, and this, like the clear plastic here,
Clear plastic
they
would
would
be cut.
slice it open. So it was just a
that?
flap.
Well, that's bizarre.
Absolutely bizarre. That's how they would sell you the game. It's like, I don't want that. First, I never bought it. Obviously, never asked again. So
The thing I think of most of Toys R Us is TurboGrafx, because that's where I bought all my TurboGrafx games. They had a big section. Yeah, you would take that little paper out, and then you'd have to go down to whatever another area
or whatever.
And someone would go look for it.
I remember Walden Books. We had Walden Books in my area, and that's where I bought some of my favorite books on tape, like Where Eagles Dare, A Christmas Carol. There was another Christopher Lee read Edgar Allan Poe. I have those. Toys R Us made it. Did you see that where I made it at Macy's past Christmas?
Yeah.
They had a tiny section. Darth Maul making a comeback.
I guess they only made Toys R Us available in certain cities because I don't remember one coming here, at least after they closed up.
Well, because I guess what is it in New York now? Because they used to have the big Toys R Us there.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
I was finding it strange though that they didn't close here, because usually these large chains have more difficulty in Canada than they do in the US because of the demographic and the huge areas and stuff. But here they all say you didn't even see a blip in the radar.
Yeah. Skylanders.
Oh yeah, Skylanders, man.
Yeah.
Threw about 200 pennies in the fountain to play Frogger.
I've got a silver boomer Skylander, which was like they would have like solid silver or solid gold, and there would be, like collectible. I remember walking into a Best Buy and the silver boomer was like hanging right in the front. I was like, "What the heck? Nobody saw it? It's mine."
Oh wow,
Count Dooku. I love that name.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like him better in Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
I've never watched Lord of the Rings.
Never watched Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
I can't. It's just too long.
I know Fellowship of the Rings. I started 3 times and got an hour into it until I finally finished. And then when I finished it, it was a marathon day. I remember me and the kid and Mama C, we sat and watched all 3, and I got the big box extended editions or whatever like that. It was 12 hours for 3 movies or something.
I was gonna say, can you watch 3 Lord of the Rings movies in one 24-hour day?
Yeah,
is that possible?
Yeah, you can.
I saw one of the movies briefly when 2 of the guys were like sitting in a tree and the tree was walking.
Yeah, that was
I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, what? A walking tree? What? I just didn't get it. Couldn't take it.
Yeah, walking trees. Let's go to Waffle House if you want to be around high employees.
Wow. The awful waffle. There you go. Wound up at Mini after the races at 2 a.m.
Jamestown Mall. It was our local mall we went to as a kid.
Oh, yeah. Jamestown Mall. Yeah.
Wow.
IHOP. You worked for IHOP too for 15 years? Holy crap. What is that? 38 years total that you spent at IHOP and Half Price Books. He's best in Gremlins 2.
We still have it.
We're back to Gremlins 2 because last time was Phoebe Cates is in that movie.
My kids hated those. Oh, the Lord of the Rings movies. Casey loved those. Playing
208
console.
minutes for the first one.
208 minutes.
208 minutes.
Don't make any plans.
Don't make, or buy
What is
extra
that?
pizza.
Almost 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
Oh,
Luke worked for Waffle House for 2 days. Our cook always went out back and smoked weed.
Mhm.
It's
oh.
sometimes you just have to do what you got to do to make it through the day.
What about a fast food?
223 minutes.
God.
Mm.
Am I supposed to take a PTO to watch this thing? Oh,
I mean, that's almost as long as like miniseries they used to have on TV, like Shogun and what's that, Lonesome Dove.
Yes. And
At least you could take-
Shogun.
At least there are breaks, you know.
those miniseries were popular for a while.
They
Yes.
were.
250 minutes. 4 hours, 10 minutes.
For one movie.
Return of the King. And it won the Picture of the Year that year.
Well,
Not
it has
counting,
like
not counting the hour-long gag
it
reel.
has like multiple endings.
How many of third movies in the series have won Picture of the Year? And it was good, man. It was good.
Mm.
It was incredibly well done.
None that I know of. Is that the only one?
Wow, I would think.
Wait, say that again.
Like a series of movies, like the third one.
The third one,
What series has gotten a
the
best
third
picture for the
sequel
third
or
one?
the third in line.
Well, The Godfather is just the opposite. Third one is the only
What?
one that didn't win.
That was the
Right.
worst one.
Godfather 2, I was going to say, may have been one of the only sequels. But
Gremlins 2 was 89.
did Gremlins 2 win the Oscar that year?
It was close.
Running neck and neck.
Oh, Smoking the Bandit 3 had a
Inserted
shot.
clip from
Damn.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and it got way up in the rankings.
CC
Was
Mental
BB
worked at
King
Mickey D's
in-
for a day.
Was he in Trading Places?
Who?
BB King.
No.
He was in Blues Brothers.
He's in Blues Brothers. That's what I thought.
Well, maybe, I don't think.
They had a BB King song in FM. Did the same. McDonald's. Oh, McDonald's.
I bet McDonald's has the record for most employees that only work there for one day.
Arby's
I
has
never-
the record for armed employees.
My kid went to work there, and everybody was saying, if they can work as a teenager in McDonald's and do well, they can work anywhere and do well.
Okay. But the
Like New
question is,
York.
was the ice cream machine working?
Yeah, really.
Is it really ice cream?
She did well, so that's good.
You know, fast food restaurants might be a good bracket show one day.
Ooh.
What?
Fast food restaurants.
Well, it'll
Oh,
definitely be regional.
I know, right?
That could be interesting.
Well, that's true. Maybe the region stuff might.
I'm just sad I didn't make it to In-N-Out Burger when I was out in California twice.
Got to do that. Where is it? Only in California or on the West Coast?
West Coast, but they're expanding. They made an announcement, was it early January, that they're opening one in Tennessee?
Zoinks. That's a fur piece.
Would I see one in Portland? So that's a question for Salvatore if you're on there. See, that's what I like, trying these different things that I've heard of, and I'm going out there just for a few days. So something like that I'd love to do.
Oh,
That
he
makes-
was the pawn
that-
shop dealer.
Well, that makes part of traveling fun. Like when we
Yeah.
had a couple of tours in Indiana for the race week, you know, White
Yeah.
Castle. We'd heard about it, never went.
There's no White Castle out where you are?
That's
No.
right. Yeah.
Steak and Shake. We had Steak and Shake come out here, but they're all closing down. It wasn't the same as the ones in Indiana.
We had the two Hardys that are near me closed.
Well, see, out here, Hardee's are Carl's Jr.
Correct.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So, wait, Lance, did you say you finally got to a White Castle?
Yes, in Terre Haute, Indiana.
All I know is I want to go through the thread and figure out where the hell ballistics worked and what is the thread.
We need a timeline for his work.
I think that's going to be next week's topic is what's ballistics timeline of employment.
We could do a bracket.
What was the best jobs ballistic ever had? Just your assumptions. Arby's.
So Lance, how did you like White Castle?
Oh, Stuckies. There
It
you
was
go.
good,
Whoa.
but keep in mind this was after the races, so it's 2 a.m. And
it's always good. 2 a.m.
I was with 4 guys, part of a racing team, and we're already a good 12-pack into it, so it worked.
I won't make it there then, Salvatore. I won't make it there then. That's too bad.
Yeah, Godfrey, Illinois, and then Terre Haute, Indiana.
Godfrey, Illinois. You're so close to us.
Yeah, you're real close. Everywhere.
Ralph is upstairs howling.
I never saw Cruising. Did you guys see Cruising?
Years ago, yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
No.
I think that's still early Pacino before he started doing that growl that growl talking he does in Sin of a Woman.
Oh yeah.
JWD, crystals are better than White Castles. Boy,
Oh yeah, crystals.
Those are fighting words right there.
Never heard of that.
It's
I've never
like
been to a White Castle. I think I've seen one once. I've never been to one.
Well, you make it here, we'll take you there.
Yeah, so we don't have White Castle, but you can. White Castle has those little sliders in the frozen food sections out here.
Yes.
Most of
Well, all I know about White Castle is I learned from Harold and Kumar, man.
If you're not
If you
used
like
to, you
reading
might
Lord
have
of
a little bit of a problem an hour or so later. They can be rough on your system.
That's
I've heard that about Taco Bell,
that
too.
in an hour south. I'm sure we won't get an hour south. It was an hour north. I talked about stopping. I know that the guys I'm going with always want to stop at McDonald's. Well, I don't want to stop at McDonald's. I can go to McDonald's anywhere. I have a McDonald's is like an 8-minute walk from my house, which is amazing because it's an 8-minute walk into the middle of the woods and I can shoot a deer.
Or get a McRib.
Or I can get in the other direction. Exactly.
Maybe at the same time.
It's funny. I can say that food was the same everywhere. There's a story. Roddy Piper had a podcast. And he talked about going to Kentucky to get real KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, because they always was at 12 secret herbs and spices.
Yeah.
Here we are. In Kentucky. We're gonna get some authentic KFC, and it tasted the same.
Wow.
Such a letdown.
Yeah, I remember when I was a little kid, the White Castle we went to, it had a sign up inside that said, White Castle for breakfast. Why not?
Why?
And that was before they had breakfast food or anything. It was just,
Why not?
I'm going to get a, because White Castle's usually 24
Still time
hours.
to make one more mistake.
Now, White Castle last year, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were selling, when did they start? 1922, I think. But they were selling the original hamburgers. Like they tried to, I guess, do their best to make what the hamburger was like back then when they first opened, which is interesting. It was
probably had meat.
It did. Because the White Castles we know, that little round thing, I don't know if it's just grease, if it's meat. All I know is it's fused to that bun, and that's what makes it delicious.
Delicious. There's Luke joining you for a comic book reading. Hey, what's that about? What's the comic book reading?
I don't know.
I need to know more about that. Waited on Chuck Norris at IHOP in '99. Did he kick your ass? He was such an amazing guy. Tipped me $200.
Holy crap.
Was he wearing black? Because good guys wear black.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome story, Brian.
Pretty cool when the rich guys come in and leave you a huge tip like that.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Dave Parker opened a chicken joint in Cincinnati. How about that? Now there's a good ball player, Pete.
I like Dave Parker.
He kind of reminds me of Andre Dawson. They're both huge. They could both hit for power and average, and they were really fast when they were young.
Mild-mannered. Dave Parker I can remember a play. Tell me if you remember this. It's fused to my mind of Dave Parker picking up a ball, I believe, in the All-Star game. and throwing it at about a height of about probably 48 inches off the ground for about 280 feet on a laser beam to the catcher and threw a guy out of the plate. Am I missing?
Who was the catcher? I believe it was Gary Carter, wasn't it?
Gary Carter.
But he wasn't even in like shallow right field. He was fairly deep. It wasn't one of the best throws I've ever seen.
Okay, I'm not hallucinating, right? This is my best memory of Dave.
No, it was the All-Star game. It was because everyone was just shocked when it happened. It's like, didn't even hit the ground. I was like, what? How did he do that?
And it friggin' never went more than that. Like
on a dime, huh?
He was a great ball player.
Where's that famous picture of him playing? Was it Pittsburgh? But he's wearing a hockey mask.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't the reason like he broke his nose or something? What was it?
He had a broken bone in his face somewhere. Orbital, was it?
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, if you want a good cleansing, White Castle's the place.
Yeah, right.
I would put White Castle above Taco Bell for cleaning out your system.
Well, this one goes to my line: food is not a game.
White Castle will clean your system out better than Taco Bell.
I think I would put it just above.
They're pretty close.
Yeah, like this. Because White
Castle. Right. So when I come to St. Louis, that is going to be a video challenge.
Okay.
I'll go with the White Castle. You go with the Taco Bell, and we'll see whose system is cleaned out first.
Well, we need a bathroom close by, and not the one at White Castle or Taco Bell.
And this is after watching Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
definitely takeout.
Maybe during.
I have a toilet right by the television.
Do you have two toilets though? That's the question.
I'll just get us some porta potties.
Well, one thing about it though is if I get to that movie, I won't be able to tear myself away. I'll be clenching quite tightly.
I've seen people who come in from out of town who've never had White Castle, and it about destroyed them because they've never had anything like that. It just messed them up.
Oh wow, yeah, Stashnet's had a bad experience with.
That's why I was curious how you liked it, Lance, because I don't know too many people who didn't grow up eating White Castles that actually like them.
You'll pay for it, but it was a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, we were a 12-pack already into it by the time it was each, mind you.
Oh my God!
Back in the 70s, you could order cheese fries because they weren't on the menu back then. It was just something I guess some White Castles were doing, and then eventually it caught on. So
like a hidden menu kind of thing.
Yeah, because we were there.
In-N-Out has
one,
that.
I was like, what?
In-N-Out has that. There's like 15 things you can order that's not on the menu.
CC Metal doesn't seem too happy with our plan.
Some plumbing will be destroyed that weekend.
I'm staying at your house, and it's going to be desperate. Make sure you give me a room next to the bathroom there, Celia.
Hurleyburger.
Buy a bunch of candles and
we'll
some
give you a plunger and send you in, Pete.
Herpes. Did you see that? I'm sorry, Sabotage. I was going to ask if you guys had herpes burgers back in the day, but autocorrect kept changing it to herpes. I've been laughing for 5 minutes.
Now those are cleaning out more than White Castle burgers.
Oh. I'll get to you when I'm done laughing.
Herpes burgers. Yeah, I had them back in the day. As a matter of fact, I still do.
Try our new STD burgers.
How many White Castles could you eat? I could eat at least 10.
Those little sliders?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a challenge for a video too.
Maybe that's part of the.
Because I remember you could buy a 30-pack of those things.
Jesus, chicken.
That's what we did.
Go Game Go goes mukbang.
We'll just have to eat it and where it depends.
Just keep on going.
Just hang in there.
Don't let that stop you.
Celia's going to be calling the porta potty rental outfit.
Yeah, we should rent.
Yeah, but you got to fit that thing indoors. That'll be the problem.
Maybe we'll have to come up with a bracket of all the places that Pete has to visit when he comes here, where we're going to eat. Luke likes to cook hot dogs for cats.
Yeah. Pete, you'll have to try St. Louis style pizza.
That's such a random line.
It's something like unlike any other pizza.
I'm not going to explore that any further.
Who
Too
doesn't
much
love pizza?
information.
I mean, it's my favorite kind of pizza, but I know a lot of people from out of town.
Lance
do
is
not
picking
like
up what I'm laying down.
I missed it.
I've had some terrible things in my mouth.
I know.
It goes back to the 90s. It was a different time. He's a different person now.
Bliss of coffee.
Maybe
boy,
that's why you've had a lot of jobs. I'm just asking.
Yeah, young and in college and needed the money.
Where do you think Pete's sex tapes came from?
Toblerone.
Toblerone.
That sold 1 million copies on beta alone.
Toblerone.
Oh man!
Local Target sell about quarter size of that.
Almost lost my card.
Hey, that's a me.
That's a you. Fell on the floor.
Right. There we go.
Jeff's not even allowed in. She says.
Yeah, I'll find a way in. Trust me.
Oh shoot!
The
Did you see the release date for Aka Arca for VCS today for February?
Ooh, I did not see that. JWD.
Isn't it JW? That's kind of cool when you can catch Jeff off guard on something. That doesn't happen very often. But
I played that on a video. I guess the original arcade game, but I didn't know it was out this month. That's awesome. That's
like years ago. You know, Jeff and I, we've said many times that we're both Knack fans, and I remember when the Knack was coming to town, and I actually got to let him know that was happening because he's the one that told me that Zoom was coming out back in 2000.
Zoom.
They got a new album coming.
Born, I'm a huge Switch fan, but I'm still using my original. I do not have an OLED.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's by Jeff Minter. He likes those crazy colors in his games.
Crazy colors. Oh, special about him. Very cool. Very cool.
Here's my wife. She says, "You guys go to White Castle. Mama C and I are going to Annie Gunn's, which is a really nice.
It is very good.
Steakhouse. It was really good.
Very good steakhouse. Been there once. Oops, sorry about that.
Whoops. I'm still an okay guy. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry to let you down. Yes, he needs to port his games over. That'd be great.
I think at which point Jeff is like, okay, you're still okay. I mean, I thought it was a little better than okay. Oh shoot, I was gonna say something.
Holy smokes, we got 26 people in here, and we only got 12 minutes left. That's crazy.
It's whack.
Pete, your stream last night, you had a ton of people in there.
There's lots of people around. We had a good time.
You had at least 25 at one time, I know. Could have been.
Yeah, about 25. Yeah, it was good. It was
Good
great. Good games. I mean, that when you're playing some good games, and Tom Lowry was an incredible programmer. One of the top ones on the system. And I mean, the success of his games show it because they're not only kind of groundbreaking with the later ones when he was with Cheshire, but his early ones are just some of the most famous ones going, right? Anyway, back on the television.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, most of his games, if most people did like a top 10 list, it's going to be full of his games.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Kurt.
Jeff is acceptably tall. Me or
no?
Jeff
Jeff.
Minter?
Yeah. The Minter.
The only thing that would have been better, going back to Tom Lowry, Pete,
is
if, and it wasn't invented then, but like Treasure of Tarman, if you had a save stage.
Yes.
Because those games could be, like in your case, what was that, 20 minutes or so?
Yeah.
15? And that's a fast Tarman game.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember as a kid, 5-6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're playing a deep level game, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, like in the television areas, you know, the game's goal is to beat the Minotaur and get the treasure. But after a while, it's kind of more fun to try and get all the books, all the different potions and all the different
Yeah.
weapons. You know, that's nothing but pure grinding and building your character. That's a game you guys don't, Jeff and Stu, Treasure of Tarman for Intellivision.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have that? I mean, that's the
Yeah.
first, I think, real first person, I think, perspective game on that system.
Really?
Yep. There were games that were I can remember playing a cartridge game on the VIC 20 that was sort of like Treasure of Tarman.
What
Wasn't
year did
really
that come out? Treasure of Tarman.
82, 83.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a fairly early release. I was thinking
It
maybe
is.
it was later, but man, 82 for first person.
It was originally released on by Mattel.
Yeah.
Right at the very end. So I'm thinking 83, Lance. I'm thinking 83.
Well,
but I'm
I've
not
seen some
sure.
dispute on the, like, it was in Televisionaries. I think they had that dispute, that question.
Right.
And some printing said 83, some said 82.
Yeah.
I'm sure on the Blue Sky Rangers, they probably have the actual website. They probably have the actual release date.
What was the reception for that game when it came out? Because it had to be kind of an oddball game at the time.
It was. My brother-in-law picked it up because he loved games like that. I was sort of getting to the point where I was more late in high school. I was playing sports and going out and not playing in television as much, by the time it came out. And I really think that it kind of overlooked at the end of it. Would you say, Lance? I mean, it's not remembered like the original.
That is true. That should the original is much more beloved, but Tarman was so radical. I guess if you had it and you told your friends, in your circle, it was huge then. But I think in the big scope of things, it wasn't as successful as the first one.
It credits it at 83.
Okay.
Now, the work may have started in 82, which will account for some of the date on a few things, but on the Blue Sky Rangers website, it says the release was 83.
And on a Televisionaries episode, he's working at APH. He already had most of the game done before the company knew what he was doing. I mean,
Yeah.
the programmers had so much freedom, to come up with their own games. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like at Atari too, from the interviews I've seen, where they just it was just give us a game.
Do you think that's a viable way to go to continue, or do you think the way corporations then push things, or I don't know, what's automate things? Do you think?
Well,
I think a company could survive if it does it that way.
I think it worked at the time because
Right.
of the simplicity of the games, but I don't think it's feasible at all this day and age.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the modern era, because it's two. You used to have two. One person did a game. Some games were done by one person, start to finish. Sometimes they brought a person in to help with graphics and a person in with sound. Then you would have, oh my God, 4 people worked in this game. And now the credits for a modern day game are longer than any movie you're ever going to see.
That's true.
You ain't lying there.
The detail in one graphic of one frame of one piece of video is more than all the, 1,000 times more than the entire game. So it's not feasible anymore, right?
There you go.
There you go, Stashnet.
But I'm saying, like, sound effects now are bigger than the size of the cartridge from back in the day.
Yeah. I was just listening to the Uncharted soundtrack yesterday while I was doing whatever. Just it's amazing stuff.
Yep. I mean, now your typical game, like, for example, games were 2 or 4K, and then you started getting some 8. I don't even think, were there any 16s, Lance?
Maybe later.
Maybe.
INTV,
In
maybe.
the 125, I don't think were there. Voice games might have been 12.
Yeah, maybe 12.
But
But I'm
anyway,
thinking,
whatever.
like-
there were 16s.
but like
Nowadays,
the ECS games, I'm thinking.
okay, yeah, possibly. Very, very, very likely, actually. But that game that I played at the beginning of the stream last night, I don't know if you saw it or not, Stop the Express, Carlos Madruga's newest one that's available by ROM from Intellivision Collector.
Look awesome.
63K. Right? They're not huge, but that's a simple game, but they're so much bigger than ever they could be in the money that was involved by making something 6K over top of 4K was
That was huge.
astronomical, and now it's like it's insignificant.
Let me ask you this question because of something that I just picked up the other day.
Agreed, Ballistic Coffee Boy. Yeah,
What?
I just did the comment that's up on the screen. I say I agree.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
cost is about the same now.
yeah. Is there do you guys have a CRT television for your retro games systems?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering because I had a friend of mine who helped me with some of my construction waste that I had the other day. And as I'm driving down there, he texts me and he says, he goes, "Do you have room for an old TV?" And I said, "You mean like an old CRT TV?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Does it work?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What size is it?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's like a 20 something. You know, that's about a 27 is what it is." And it's one of the flat screen, 20.
Yeah.
So it's a whole TV, but it's got the flat screen.
Yeah.
So I said, "I'll take it." So I was probably not. I'm not supposed to do that, but I did because I wanted to have something smaller and something simple to play in television games on and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's
yeah.
I tell you where I find CRT makes a big difference is not so much with the television. If you get the hookup, sometimes is easier, but if you can get your games hooked up to a modern day TV, whatever way, through a VCR or some way, it's fine. But once you get to, I find with NES, the reaction times of the controls for difficult games is much better on a CRT than it is on. There's some sort of lag. Do you know what I mean, Lance?
I can see that. For me, I like PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 on a CRT better.
On a CRT better?
Yeah, because upscaling is real hard with the early PlayStations. So you could have things like, was that the M Classic, and there's another upscaler I use. So to be true to the original is better. And I did notice some lag on some PS2 games when I tried those on the HD.
Interesting.
I was watching a video today. I don't know if you guys have watched or not. He does outro. He did an outro for me in some of my videos. You might have seen him. It's the Back in the Day Gamer, and he plays a lot of NES. And he went through his video, all the games that he beat in 2022. This is just about earlier this week. And the one that's the biggest difference is Mike Tyson's boxing. It is almost unbeatable in emulation. But if you hook it up to a CRT, play the old system.
Okay. Well, the light gun games, you can't play light gun on the modern TVs.
Yeah. That's the technology involved. It just doesn't work. It's the way it, But there's something to do with the reaction time with the CRT television and the original NES. It's just you're going to get it better by using the original system, and you almost cannot beat it in emulation.
I can see that. But yeah, if you want to play duck hunt and get pissed at that dog that laughs at you, got to do it on CRT.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out that Jeff just put something up, or Stu did. Yes, JWD, I will.
Yeah, Pete's got a $20 offer out there for anyone who's got a complete inbox spiker.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it. No, I will. I'll give you 30.
Whoa.
50% bump in the offer right there.
Damn.
That's pretty good, Pete.
That is. Oh, Eep has 2.
Nice.
I used to have a couple of 30-some inch. I think they were, I don't know, 30, 34, 36 inch. I got rid of them. It was too much. I'm at that point now where this room is just full of stuff.
Everything for me is nostalgic, so I got to turn around and walk. But up in the corner.
There you go, buddy.
There you go.
Up in there.
It's like you're in a bar, Pete.
What's that?
It's like you're in a bar. You got a CRT up in the corner.
That's right. But it's like that's My dad
Oh wow, nice.
bought that TV for my mom, which was really weird. Like I still remember him. He go pick this up for me, And I bought it at the local store here, and he bought it for my mom to have. And he used to watch one thing in one room, and she would watch something else in the next room. And he bought her a TV one year, and it was probably like $400 for that TV when he bought it back around 1980.
Yeah.
7 or 8 or 90 or 91, whatever. It's probably early 90s actually, because I'm sure I was working and living here. And so then she passed away first, and then he had it for a long time. And then when he passed away, I brought it here, and there it is. It still works.
Nice.
So what do you have that on over there? Did you have a mount that it's on?
It's mounted. It's it's one of those things that you used to be able to buy to mount to the wall. Now they're all for flat screens, right? But back then they were like this, and you could put your TV on it. And that puppy, I mean, that's not like a 32-inch or even a 27-inch, which are like 200 pounds, but that's a heavy TV.
Yeah, I remember finding a couple of big. One of them had it was the big wooden, which is what somebody was talking about earlier, where they hate when they strip those.
Oh yeah.
Big consoles and make it into a cat house. Cat sanctuary. It was said.
Hey, those floor mounted TVs, wooden TVs.
Yes.
Special
and
time.
I remember driving past 2 of them on the curb years ago, and I went up to the door and knocked, and she came out, and I was like, do these work? Can I? Yeah. And she was like, sure, they work. And I hoisted those bad boys into the van. I was like, it was a big He-Man moment.
Yeah. But, it's crazy.
Yeah. But I eventually got rid of them. I was like, I'm done.
There's a limit. Like that one there is probably a 21 or a 19. And that's like, I can move that around easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't want one any bigger and try to move it around.
In our old house, we had a Mitsubishi CRT. It was over 40 inches.
Oh my God.
I think it was the largest CRT they made at the time. I can't remember what it was, 45, 42. I don't know.
God.
But it was so incredibly heavy. And of course, I'm big. But we moved it from the basement to the family room maybe 4 times since when we lived there. And it was it was just awful moving that thing.
Imagine if you had one 10 inches smaller fall on you.
Oh. Went down to a friend's house there. We were doing it was a football pool thing actually. And it was I was probably I would have been in my early 40s then. And he was in his 60s or so. And he said, who was there? Somebody else was there. And he said, well, you 2 young guys are here. Will you help move this TV out of the house? And it was a 32-inch CRT TV, right?
Yes.
And I had to take it out the front door and down the stairs. Okay, down the deck stairs.
Yep.
And we're going, and I'm sort of at the bottom, right? And it had a crack in the plastic casing. And no kidding, we're going down these friggin' stairs. And I don't know how I managed to get my body sideways enough, but the entire massive tube part of it fell out through the bottom of the plastic. I'm sitting there still holding the plastic. The plastic just shattered all around this TV. It hit the stairs and skidded down to the bottom of the stairs. Didn't blow up. Didn't really break. Cracked. But the plastic casing holding the TV, it was like an old Samsung or something like that, just basically disintegrated. I actually got cuts all over my hands from the plastic, right? But not from the glass. But if I had been a little bit different position or couldn't get over, that sucker was 150, 200 pounds. It was coming down on top of me going down these stairs. It was kind of scary, actually. Everything was fine. But yeah, I don't like moving CRT TVs.
Yeah, this is true. I like $2,000 for those TVs. Well, see, I have this one. There's a board in front of it, but I have that projection television. It's a 55. Okay, yeah. So she still works. I mean, we bought that from a friend of ours years ago. I mean, decades ago, and it still works. So I don't know. That's why I really probably didn't need this, but
hey, Yeah,
he needed to go somewhere, and
Nice to have, though.
yeah,
yeah,
very cool to have. I probably would never get one just because it's such a pain to move, and I have nowhere to put one anymore.
yeah. That's what
But-
my issue is right now, where I'm trying to
The best way to
figure
play the
out-
whole games, though, you can't deny that.
right.
Mhm.
That's. I just thought if he's just getting rid of it and it works, and he would buy nice stuff. It's a nice television. I think is it a Panasonic? I think.
Lance, you mentioned Duck Hunt. I think it was Wii U. Nintendo reissued it. They brought it back out.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
Using the Wiimotes as a shooter.
Remote.
Yeah. I think it was Wii U. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
I just remember going to a friend's house when that came out, and that was pretty awesome. They have a light gun, and I think they
Oh,
might have
yeah.
also had Mike
Gun at
Tyson's
home.
Punch Out, and of course Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is pretty neat, because around that time people were moving into Commodore 64, getting away from video game consoles, and that was the time to bring them back.
Yeah, I played more light gun games on or more light gun gaming, I guess I should say, on the Dreamcast with House of the Dead 2. Man, we played the heck out of that game. It was so much fun.
Love that game. Love that game. Hey,
Now,
we're 6 minutes over.
I also bought it on the Switch, and the controls just sucked.
Oh, did it really? Oh no.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if they've updated it. Maybe they fixed it. I don't know, but it just wasn't the same.
I had no idea that Duck Hunt started as a game where it was ducks projected on a wall, and you'd shoot at the wall with a toy gun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think wasn't that back when in Japan they had a fad where they were taking bowling alleys and turning them into the shooting gallery type stuff. And I think that's where Duck Hunt originated. At least, well, it wasn't Duck Hunt yet, but I think they were just turned into a shooting range, basically, where you're shooting stuff on a screen.
So they're saying that's like the next evolution of what's that game? Carnival?
That's what I was waiting for.
Carnival.
Mm.
I was thinking, couldn't you get a CRT and put it right on top of the aquarium?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could.
Pete's done.
Pete's like a bunch of running over jokers. Let's knock it off.
Well-
Game Aquarium is in the dining room
Still,
because it's so important. That'll be its final resting place, I think. There's nowhere else to put it. It's too big. You can't put it in another room because, like, bedroom room, like my office, it can't even fit in there. It's just so big.
your wife's probably like, you should have just. I won't say.
Monday is big trash day. I'm not sure what you're getting at there. Comment out of nowhere. Go game.
All I know, maybe it should have just had Perry in that, and then put that in the ground.
Oh my gosh, it took long enough to dig that hole for the little box she was in. That would take a weekend.
Take a weekend and 10 people. It just won't fit yet. Damn it.
Did we decide what the bracket shows?
Yeah, 80s. Wide
80s
open
movies.
80s movies.
We're gonna do it unrestricted. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So what's the scoop? You asking for lists already or what?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anybody?
Getting down
I'm
to
not sure on the
business.
date yet that we'll do it. It'll be this month.
The
We'll do
only
it in
thing missing
February.
from the end of your sentence was bitch.
But for the new people here,
Yeah,
You
you
say
need a
new
deadline.
people?
you
We have new
can.
people?
Let's see. Do I still have? Oh, right here.
Ta-da!
You can do a Google Doc. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Fill
I think so.
fill out the Google Doc. Your top 32 80s movies.
In order.
Send it here.
Yes, in order. Gotta specify that.
Yes.
Because points
make
are
sure you-
awarded per position.
Yeah.
Are we doing this for when are we doing this?
Probably
yeah,
towards the end of the month because it's
People
gonna,
can start sending their stuff in, or else it'll never happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So send it to GoGameGo. 2 extra goes there at gmail.com. And you can send your list in. And what we do is we take our list, and anyone who sends it in, we take their list, we push them all together, and we come up with a ranking.
We add the points from where they are.
Yep.
So we'll do it on Ash Wednesday on the 22nd, which is also Washington's birthday.
So okay, so that's the show date, but what's the deadline for everybody to
I'd say the
submit?
week ahead of that, the
Let's see.
15th
Wait, let me look at
15th?
this.
or the weekend. I don't what. That's
Depends on Jeff, right?
up to Jeff, whatever he thinks.
Yeah, let's try. How about the 17th? That Friday before the show. That way it gives me the weekend to get all this stuff together.
Favorite 80s movies.
Okay, regardless of genre. Okay.
Turn it in by the 17th. Yeah, so like your number one pick will get 32 points. Your 32nd pick gets 1 point. That's how we
Here's my
decide
number one
that's how we decide the brackets.
Because there will be movies that people pick that don't make it, and it's all judged by these points.
Yeah.
So Megaforce 32, Megaforce 31, Megaforce 30, Megaforce 29. I won't go on.
Let me just put it this way. That was a film that would have been looking for a sequel, and there was never one made. So if that tells you anything.
It's because they couldn't find pants any tighter than the original.
They couldn't get another guy that looked like he was watching a porn.
So good they only made one.
So we'll give this information about where to send everything every week.
That movie would have to be better.
Mm.
There you go. What's the coffee boy says his will be Tron.
Ooh, good call.
Ooh, good pick.
Nice.
Good call.
Well, you got to pick 31 more and order them.
I was thinking a 50-inch projection TV would probably suffice. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Thanks
Night
for
of the
watching, everyone.
Demons. I've never heard of
Sorority
it.
Babe and the Slime Ball Bolorama.
So this is the 80s. So was it Manos Hands of Fate? Can't work.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
I believe that was
It's
a
okay,
50.
Pete. I'm sorry. Was it something I said?
Coco's peeling onions.
She's just staring at him like, what the hell, Dad?
I know.
What did Stuart say? Get me there. I'll kill him.
He's like, you're supposed to lick your hands.
I already drank his beer.
You dick.
Oh, Revenge
All
of the
right,
Nerds. Oh,
We are out of here.
Ted
Thanks for
McGinley.
joining.
no.
So many ideas, so many thoughts. Send your lists in, get them ready, get them together. This would probably take me about 3 minutes to get a list together.
I got to see if I've even watched 32 movies from the 80s. I might have a short list.
You know, they say short list, short,
Temper.
right. Exactly.
Great. All right. We'll see you guys.
That's right, Seinfeld.
Your name's Bookman?